Hello! Having a wander around the field again today, in between showers. We might get a little bit rained on shortly because I can see some very black clouds, but we'll just keep going as much as we can. Today I want to show you one of the mechanics on how to walk a dog. Now, there's quite a few components that go in, so I'm not going to go into all of them today because otherwise it'll just confuse you or blow your mind a little bit too much. It'll just be a little bit too much to take in. So we'll break it down into steps, and over the next couple of weeks I'll show you a few tips along the way to help you walk your dog in a much better, more comfortable way. So today is about how we hold our lead. Now, after this session, bear in mind that because there are so many other things that go into walking your dog, how we hold the lead is only one thing. So your dog may still pull at the end of this if they're a puller, if that's what you're particularly worried about. However, it will start to help build the relationship and the dynamic, and it will help you learn to be a little bit more comfortable holding the lead. Also, it changes the energy up quite a bit if you can be a little bit more relaxed with the dog and start to just walk a little bit more comfortably, so that hopefully eventually your dog won't continue being on that constant pull. So I'm just going to stop Gus for 2 seconds. Gus, wait, sit, good boy. So I've just got him on a training lead at the moment. This is one of my awesome leads from Emma at the Wolfpack in Wellington. She's very talented. So with the way I hold the leads, there's a couple of different ways. Everyone has their own style, but this is the way that works for me. So I've just got the lead connected to me at the moment too, so that I'm not going to drop it while I'm recording this. Now, the first thing that you want to focus on is how we grip the lead. Eventually you won't need to apply this much control or force through it. Hopefully eventually you can just even use a couple of fingers, but this is how we start and how we progress into different stages. So the first thing that we do is imagine you're gripping the handlebars of a bike and you want to grab the lead in that direction. Now, if you're going to pull it like you're pulling a rope, what you're going to end up with is insufficient control, essentially. If you're holding it in this way, the bottom part of your hand is going to act as the brake. So if I hold the lead, if I need to apply a correction, you'll see I'll apply it this way. If I've got the lead holding like this, it's got a little tiny bit of control, but your dog's going to end up on a constant pull away from your arm, which is not really what you want. If you've got it this way, they're not going to get as far from you. Next thing is not wrapping it around your wrist or your hand or your fingers. If you do that, you run the risk of quite a bit of injury to yourself. So the end of the lead, you can either hold it in another hand, you can loosely wrap it around your wrist. I'll try to show you at the moment. So imagine this bit here is the other end. So that's a really loose way of doing it, or you can just let it dangle. Completely up to you. The next step is making sure that your arm is really loose down your body. So you want to make sure that your posture, first of all, is really tall and upright. Chest out. When you're walking, you're going to be looking into the distance, but just keep that arm right down, relaxed, comfortable by your side. You don't want it up here, you don't want it out here, you don't want it forward, you want it just comfortably resting. If you are constantly doing this, you're going to be changing up the energy. And that essentially is like a dog getting a limp handshake. You want to give them a firm handshake. Imagine what it's like when you're meeting someone for the first time and they give you a limp handshake. It's not really a nice feeling, is it? And the trust level that you're building is not quite there. So you want to be doing the same for your dog. So anytime your wrist is going in funny directions like this, think about that limp handshake and think about what energy you're giving to your dog. Gus, leaf, good boy. Haven't got a scratch because he's bored. I'll give him a run around in a second. So as far as how we then hold the distance away from our dog, we want to make sure it's loose enough so that there is enough to give a correction, but so that they're not too far away from us. Eventually you'll be able to even just not even worry about the lead, but this is initially while you need to get control back with your dog. This slack in the lead is going to make sure that your dog has choice. And what I mean by that is they can choose to move away from you, but if they do, they're going to get a correction through the lead. If they move back to you, then they're going to take that pressure off the lead and then go, that's a nicer feeling. I'll let it go comfortable and let it go slack. If we keep our leads really taut, what's going to happen is our dogs will just pull into that for a start, and they'll just keep pulling because they'll just work out that they can keep moving with that. But it also becomes a nag, and when it becomes a nag, you break down the relationship with your dog, and you want to be building trust. A constant pull and a nag doesn't really build too much trust. So those are kind of some of the basics and the fundamentals about how we hold our lead so that when we're walking, it's pretty close to us. Now we're in a field with lots of smells, so Gus may want to sniff or he may not. No, he's pretty good. So then eventually I can keep that pretty away from me. Good boy. Good boy. So now he's got to follow where I'm going. So he's got enough slack to make some choices. If he decides he's going to stop and not walk with me, then he gets a correction, but he gets corrected himself really, and he can just walk comfortably next to me. So that's one of the first fundamentals about how to walk the dog, is holding the lead. So practice at home how to hold the lead, then when you're out you can try see if that makes things a little bit more comfortable. But as I said at the start, there are lots of other different mechanics that go into getting your dog to walk nicely on a lead, and to do that is a lot of different moving parts to make up the whole. So I will go into those at a later date. We've got a little bit of time on our hands really, haven't we, at the moment, so we'll teach you how that goes, and we'll hopefully get you walking some dogs really nicely on some leads. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully it's not too wet where you are. We've got the sun just coming out on us now, which is fabulous. So we'll finish off our walk through the field and get home and get back into the safety of our house. Take care. See you later.